It's been a while. We're here, as you can see on video, figuring this out as we go forward. Some of you have seen me before, some of you have never seen me before. Some of you are just tuning in. If you're just tuning in, I appreciate you, love you, and know that God has something for you. And it's been a minute, y'all. As you can see, like I have the microphone here, charts are in the background, gold's running down, looking at my trades. Got a microphone. We're going to see how this sounds. So we're going to test it out. So today's going to be pretty short, simple, and easy. It's a pretty easy message I got for y'all and something that I've been sitting in lessons and that I've been learning. But most importantly, right now, trying to figure this out and see how this is going to work going forward because this is completely different. So now there's video, there's audio here, and I'm going to try and figure it out, piece it together, and put it out to y'all. And honestly, the pods that I do by myself and videos that I do by myself are going to be a little shorter just because it's not as engaging as well. And I also want to make sure that I deliver something really good. So today's going to be more of an update. I do have something pretty quick that hopefully someone can take and use from it. But those of you who've been around, I appreciate you. Those of you who've been even listening to it when I said in December that I was going to take a hiatus and come back in January and still tuned in, y'all are dope. Y'all stuck around. The numbers don't lie. I see it, even just the plays and notifications, even when I'm still not producing something, you guys have stuck around and listened to it. And some of them even been on replay. So I appreciate you. I really do because I understand that your time is valuable, everything you have going on. And just to take a couple minutes to listen to me or stand here and be like, hey, you know what? He's got something to offer. And you come back. I appreciate it a lot. So welcome to episode 28. The message for today is settings. As you can see, got an old fashioned ready to go. And shout out to Lundeen's this pick right here from Lundeen's. If you're 21 and you can drink and you like bourbon, let me put you on for a second. This Driftless Glen rye pick, phenomenal. I have two of these. I need a third one. Y'all, shout out to Matt and Liz. This was just good. I had to even reward myself that I had to try it in an old fashioned again. It's really nice because I haven't had an old fashioned all of January. I've been trying to dedicate my entire January to the Lord, fasting, dry January, eating healthy, doing good. So ending the month. Cheers to everyone here. Um, so yeah, y'all, welcome back. What has changed? A lot has changed actually. Like I said, I used December to focus on the family. I think it's super important for us during the holidays and take that entire month off, pretty much the second half of that month, and just focus on my entire family and just be there for them, everything that they're doing and giving them my time and everything that I can, right? As you can see, the brand dropped. For those of you that audio, you're not going to get to see it, but the brand has dropped. Well, sorry, let me rephrase this. It hasn't dropped just yet. It definitely came in. I'm inspecting everything. I'm marketing, taking a couple videos, clips, whatever before I actually drop it. This is actually one of the designs that is not out just yet. I'm working on this one. I don't even know if I can really show it. Let me see if I can even adjust the camera. Let's take a look. No, you're just gonna have to take a look at it from here. I don't even know if it shows, but again, new mic, new everything. I do have the actual shirt that I ended up dropping. That I'm going to drop. Wow. Um, Hopefully you guys love it. Like I said, I'm wanting to make sure I get the good quality, best quality things that you can find me at. You can find me at MVR Clothing. So let me MVR underscore clothing underscore, right? Personal, you can find me at FxmvIII. YouTube link for this. It's gonna be different. You can find me at, I believe it's MV dash III. So all kinds of things that I got going on, y'all. And like I said, I've missed y'all. It's been a while. Life has been stressful. Life has been chaotic. Everything about it. I actually probably the most stressful day of my entire life last week, and probably the most stressful time of my entire week is just the fact that I've been in super creative mode, right? From setting up the pod, camera, from this, trying to tell people like, hey, I got a couple guests that I have scheduled, like we're going to be on video, and are you okay with it? We'll test running the video. We'll see how it is. And hopefully that YouTube will start ramping up and all that good stuff. And again, y'all, this is so new to me. I'm putting myself out there. I can't even believe I'm actually talking to a camera. Like I'm literally looking at it right now. And I've had this camera for a while, and I'll tell people all the time, and it's got good video. I'm hoping that the audio comes out good. So again, bear with me. I'm hoping that it does its job and everything that it needs to do. Same here. I've actually trying a new format for audio to see if it works, because the last one I had, it just was okay. Like they ended up changing partnerships. So anyways, Get into the good stuff, y'all. As you know that I like to give you guys lessons of everything that I've been going through. I always use the good book, always keep it on me. My Bible's back here. For those of you who have never read the Bible, I suggest that you do, even if you want to come in a non-religious. We're not religious here because there's a difference between religious and following here. I'm not going to condemn you for anything, but I'm just going to tell you what I've learned and give you the lessons and hope that you can take something from it and maybe use it and apply it in your life for everyday use, right? And today I want to talk about settings, and you can take that however you want. They can be the settings on your phones, the surroundings, whatever it may be. Double entendre here, right? For those of you know what that is, your settings are so important. And here's the thing: some of us take the time to adjust our entire settings on our phone, everything. I've seen people literally adjust their entire home screen to a certain color, all that kind of stuff. Like, y'all have spent too much time on these phones and trying to set everything up. And I get it. You probably like, look at this grumpy old dude. Like, what is he going on about this rant about phones? But I think that's the important part, right? How can we prioritize the fact that we put our settings in our phone to such a high priority, but not the settings in our inside, not the settings in our heart, not the settings in our mind, not the settings in our emotions, keeping us in check, everything. And not just that, the settings in your surroundings of where you're at. I think a lot of things apply here, right? Because too many of us, I hear it all the time. If we're going to get a little bit real for some of our mature people and people who are in that area, like some of you are in relationships that you know your settings with them are just making it impossible to be there. I'm sorry if they look good, but yet they have a temper tantrum, or maybe they're not mature, or they're angry. Like, it's not a good enough reason. You're not getting your needs met. You're not getting the love and affection that you need, but you're sacrificing your own happiness because of the looks. You're sacrificing it because of the setting that they give to you. For some of the people, they might, whether it's girl or guy, they might provide you with money. They might provide you with luxurious things. And for some people, it's worth it. Good for you. If you can go ahead and lower your settings to that standard, cool. I'm jealous. Not coming at anyone's throats, right? But if that's the way you live and you're happy about it, I'm not going to judge you. And now let's talk about this from people who are in a perspective like, I really want to get further ahead in my life. I want to do something with my fitness. I want to do something with whatever. I've talked about it if you go back on podcast number 1, where it's new year, same old me. And it's kind of contradicting because everyone's like, oh, wouldn't you want new year, new me? Yeah, you would, but some things are going to take time. It's not going to happen right away. Your settings are adjusting. And same thing, just like your phone, there's an update that has to come through. You might be stuck on that setting for a while until an update comes through, until God tells you, hey, it's time for you to move. And a prime example of this is God knows where you're supposed to be every single time. He knows the settings that you're supposed to be in, but sometimes when he calls you out of it, you're too scared to come out of it. Like God put Adam in the garden. He specifically put him in the garden, and we knew what came out of that. We knew what happened out of that. Another prime example, I think everyone's really well known with the story of Moses. Moses is a wonderful story. It's one of my favorite stories. Prince of Egypt, if you guys have seen it, great movie. Everything about it, right? Like Moses is such an interesting character because I talk about it all the time, where this man had anger problems. This man had it all. If I'm being quite honest with you, this man even had the fact of royalty. This man had money, the wealth, then murdered someone and then fled. His settings were set up for him to have everything. Everything he needed was welcomed, right? Was welcomed as one of the people there. But somehow deep down inside, he knew, like, wow, there's something off about this. Like, the settings around me are great. It doesn't feel like home. It doesn't feel like this is my natural area of where I should be settling down, right? And too often we get blinded of how that makes us feel. Our emotions make you feel like this is the right setting it should be in. You'll sacrifice your longevity for the fact of what you're feeling in the moment, because no one likes to be in a position where you're feeling kind of down, right? Like, no one likes to feel the pain. I think pain is a language that we all know across. We all know that it's too familiar, right? Pain is universal language because we understand it. There's certain things that I can talk to you about that you may not understand. But pain, we know it very well. We all know it. It's a universal language. So when you sit there and you're in pain and you're sitting in your settings that you have surrounded by you, right? But yet you don't want to leave it, it doesn't make sense to me. I've told people before the story when I moved to the place that I'm in, I couldn't afford it. I probably had the fact of maybe like 3 months saved up. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make it work. I'm not saying go out and do a bad financial choice, but my settings and my surroundings were holding me back, right? Nothing wrong with where I was at. I just knew that there was time for an upgrade. I needed to do something at the sacrifice of what? I knew that, okay, cool. I got 3 months saved up, but it almost kind of leveled me up in a way. It's bad financial advice. I can tell you that right now. I'm not saying go out and buy a Lambo and you'll make it work. Because I don't want someone coming in here and saying like, "Yeah, I made this decision." That's not what I'm saying, right? But there is a balance to it where you want to again make yourself a little bit uncomfortable because you're stuck in the fact of what was natural and what you've known your entire life. You kind of can't be there. You're gonna sit in this entire setting. You know how many times people told me, don't do the podcast, don't put yourself out there like that, or don't do the clothing line, don't do the trading. And now I'm thankful for the fact that I don't have a 9 to 5. I'm grateful that I get to spend time with my loved ones. There are certain things that I'm changing still, even to get better at these things, right? But at the same time, I have hobbies and things that I like now. I enjoy a little more. So it's kind of hard for me to think that we don't prioritize our settings, but we prioritize the settings on our phones, the computers, everything that's technology driven is all about your settings and your uh, your upgrade, whatever it may be, your update. It's just I think that too many times again we let our emotions lead the way of what we think is what we deserve. That's not the truth, right? Like Moses understood that he needed to leave. Unfortunately, he had to murder someone and then leave. And that's a hard thing, right? Because you keep going and he ran, but God used him in that way. Found him, understood him, led him to where he needs to be. You know how many times Moses was the person to be like, sorry, God, you just can't, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. But your obedience right there in that moment is going to change everything for you. Like, I understand that uncomfortableness of trying to get out of the settings that you're in to step into something different. But again, on that decision that you make, there could be something else that's better for you. There could be that leap of faith, whatever it may be. I just think we've gotten used to the settings that we're on in our entire life, just coasting through everything, and you have to change them. You have to change your surroundings. You can go back to the saying where I think that you are the product of the 5 people you hang around with. Honestly, I'm starting to think it even could be the 5 people that you think about, right? Again, you form yourself to be like these people. So if people are continuously going out and partying, because I was guilty of it, I was there, I get it. And you're probably like, look at this old guy, whatever it may be. Sure, whatever. But I was the person that'd go out to the clubs, I'd party, I'd go do this, I'd have fun. It was a blast. All of it was cool, but at the same time, I was getting nowhere. And now I'm not saying that if you go out and you party, you're getting nowhere. That's not what I'm saying because I think it's all fine in the balance, right? Again, I like bourbon. Some people are gonna be like, well, this guy drinks bourbon, like, he's probably going nowhere. Like, no, that's not the case, right? Everything is in healthy increments. I just think that there comes a point where you have to understand that if you're going to stay in your natural settings, you are going to probably stay in that area, the facility, the place that you're at, your job, your position, your business, whatever it may be. You've got to make a sacrifice sometimes, right? We can't get comfortable just sitting in these places far too often. If we're gonna sit here and get comfortable in this, you might as well just pitch a tent and call it a day, right? You're putting yourself in the wilderness. If the good Lord's calling you out of something, step out. What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose, right? For my young people, if you're trying to do a business venture or take a leap of faith into something else, and you still have mom and dad, and the fact that your family will back you up, jump. Mom and dad are always gonna have your back, right? Now, for some of us that are older, we're either late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, whatever. Our situation is just a little bit different, right? I would assume you have a good partner. And if you don't have a good partner, you probably have a good support system of your friends. Take the leap of faith. And if you don't, I'm sure your family is still going to support you too, right? Your settings are going to make a huge difference in the way that you live in your surroundings. Like, again, when God constructed everything, the settings of how everything was accurate enough to the point where, like, the sea was divided by the sand, the sea was divided by the land. I'm sorry. Yes. And again, everything matters who you surround yourself. When you're there with community, you're going to have a good community. They're going to support you, they're going to uplift you, right? If your settings just contains just you yourself, because again, I was guilty of it. I can do this on myself. I'm on a journey by myself. I'll figure it out. Ooh, I'm just kind of self-discovering whatever it is. I need to find myself. Sure, cool. You're getting lost in the sauce of your uncomfortability of literally wanting to face your problems. That's what it is. Call it for what it is. It's not easy. I get that changing settings, changing your surroundings is not easy, or else everyone would do it. Again, you want to start the year off right? I literally had to come in and be like, oh, cool. I literally came in, I threw all my stuff away, the junk food, everything that I needed. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this right. I'm going to start the first month just right in a fast, no alcohol, dry January. I reward myself towards the end. And here I am, right? I locked in. I figured out how am I going to do audio? How am I going to do the pod? How am I going to focus on my trading? How am I going to focus on the brand? What am I going to do to build up the brand? Because again, we can even go to a marketing perspective for those of us who are marketers, right? I believe one of my favorite people and designers from Off-White, Virgil, who again I look up to, same with Jerry Lorenzo for Essentials. These are the people that I love. It's all about your settings, right? I could put this shirt right here, let's say, up against the wall, and it makes it look cheap and tacky. Now I take this shirt and I remove it and I put it in a surrounding where it's a factory, it's abandoned, it's got the cinematic feel to it. It almost makes it feel more empowering. I take this shirt and I put it up against a white background, light, clean textures, everything. It looks luxurious. Do you see what I'm saying? Your settings of everything is how you are set up and the way you are literally shaping yourself. So again, it's a pretty straightforward and easy, simple message. There's nothing crazy to it. There's nothing like deep about it. It's just the fact that your settings change everything, right? You've seen artsy people put something in like the most random place and it changes the dynamic of the picture or the piece of art, right? You can put a banana taped up against a wall and that piece of art sold for billions of dollars. It just makes a difference, right? The way you position yourself in your different settings is going to allow you to either get further in life or stay stagnant. So again, that's pretty much it, y'all. Like I said, I wanted to give you guys a life update. I wanted to let you know about this. This is something that's been sitting on my heart and trying to change the fact of what I'm surrounded by so then I could get to the next part. I was comfortable with just audio. Now I've got to change my settings and try and do audio, so or not audio, video, so people can see it, right? So keeping it simple, y'all. I just want you to know that thank you for stopping by. This is a quick one. I'm going to drop something in a month. I have guests coming through, something that I can entertain you, something that would be a little more engaging. And again, everyone that stuck through this, I appreciate you. This has been different. This has been weird. It's been a very weird season of trying to figure things out. Those of you who are still coming back and those of you that are new, I appreciate you and everything. And hopefully you like this episode. It was short and quick, but like I said, I'm going to keep them short and quick when it's myself. So that way it's not just too much rambling, right? Again, I appreciate you. Love you guys. For anyone that's new, consider subscribing, whatever it may be. Leave me a comment of whatever it may be, something you maybe got out of it, whatever, share it. Let me know. I would like to see what you guys are taking from it. So, peace out and thank you for everything.